Hello, everyone. My name is Asher Jordan. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns interchangeably. I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, post traumatic stress disorder, and fibromyalgia. I work as an intern at Bender Consulting, and I was blessed to be able to be granted the Sam Miller Award, and now to speak to all of you today. Sam Miller was a disability advocate who had epilepsy, who was friends with Joyce Bender, Yoshiko Dart, and was on the cover of Epilepsy USA magazine with Tony Coelho. He blazed a trail through the disability community before he lost his life to suicide as a result of horrific bullying. Last summer, I took a digital accessibility class through the Bender Leadership Academy. We learned how to make our digital worlds more accessible and easier to navigate for others who might not be as privileged as us. I even learned that this class applies to me, as I have a hearing processing disorder tied to my autism, and I need captions for videos, though they are not always made available to me. Earning the Sam Miller Award means so much, especially after I learned about the life of Sam Miller. Like Sam, I was bullied severely, to the point where the people around me truly felt my life was in danger. I was bullied for the symptoms of my autism, although I was not diagnosed at the time. I still struggle today with the after effects of the nightmare I went through in middle school. I still get nightmares related to them. I still am afraid of public spaces, and schools in particular, and I still struggle with thoughts of suicide to this day. When I gave my speech at the Bender Disability Mentoring Day kickoff event, I wore a red shirt in honor of the Red Instead movement, a movement for autism acceptance, which typically happens in April. The reason I wore it in October is in honor of the people like me, whose autism has defined their lives, whether they knew it or not. My autism has been the defining point of who I am long before I gained my diagnosis. It was the reason I was bullied. It was the reason I excelled in school. It was the reason I was able to build my intelligence and find hobbies I still enjoy to this day. Autism got me into the fields I studied and into my current career. I know I'm not the only one out there, so I wore red in alliance with the people like me. Furthermore, I was showing my alliance to the disability community as a whole, to all the people whose lives have been impacted by their disability, for better or for worse. Out of all the people on Earth, more than 1 billion of us are disabled. 1/4 of us will experience some mental health disability in our lives. Many of us were born with our disabilities. Others of us will experience disabilities along the way. Whether your disability is temporary or permanent, I hope I can show that I stand with you. Disability advocacy is so important, not only to the other people around us who are diagnosed with disabilities, but for ourselves. I would not be surprised if many of you here today have already been in a position where you've had to advocate for yourselves and for your disabilities. I myself was not diagnosed with autism until I was a month from being 20 years old. But ever since I was in middle school, I did the research, I studied the disorder, I knew that I was autistic. I begged and begged my parents and my teachers and the trusted adults in my life to listen. It may have taken about a decade, but finally, I was able to get the help that I so desperately needed. Advocate for yourselves. You know yourself better than anyone. The better you understand your needs and what you can do, the better the world will understand you. And then, when you have made a space for yourself, begin to advocate for others. Never forget what you did for yourself, and then give others the kindness that hopefully they are not alone advocating for themselves. Help others in the way that you once needed help. Because if we make a world where we all advocate for each other, there will be a world where we don't have to advocate for anyone. I'm sure that's a world many of you want to live in. While I am blessed to be granted the Sam Miller Award, I don't believe we do the work that we do because we want to be pat on the back for it. We don't want awards, we want change. We have seen that people need help, and we have struggled too, and we are stepping up to fix things. We do this work because this work needs to be done, and we are simply answering the call. As much as this is a kindness to recognize what I'm doing, this award will not be the success that I need in order to stop. And if this award was given to someone else, it would not have deterred me, as I hope it does not deter the others who applied, from stopping our advocacy, for ourselves and for others. I hope we continue to fight, now and for as long as we must. until every disability is seen, until every need is met, until everyone is allowed a taste of success, a taste of kindness, a taste of happiness, and overall a good life, for the rest of our lives and the lives of our descendants down the line. Until we know justice, I will fight, and I hope that everyone who hears my call stands with me. That being said, I encourage you young advocates to also apply for the Sam Miller Award. If you are putting in the work to change the world, you certainly deserve a moment of recognition. One part of self-advocacy is knowing when you've done the right thing and knowing when you should be awarded for it. You can be humble while still saying that you deserve recognition for the work that you've done. I think being humble is knowing what our successes and failures are and recognizing both equally. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you will do me the honor now of standing with me, of fighting with me, of making the world a better place. It's okay if I never taste the waters of paradise, if I can make a future where others can. Thank you.